students land up primarily taking up ACCA post IPCC for one of two reasons. One, they've actually cleared, of course, but they want to further upskill themselves during their articleship period. And I'm going to talk about in this video how ACCA you can actually do with CA post IPCC during its articleship period. And after ACCA, they continue doing, they appear with the final CA, and then they work as a CA plus ACCA. But CA is something they're continuing, and ACCA becomes more like an upskilling or a backup. When it comes to the other set of people, they're the ones who decided to drop CA, and either after a few attempts of IPCC, they let go, or for whatever reason, they cleared IPCC, but then they decided to not appear for final CA, and this can happen probably immediately after IPCC or during the entire journey of article. So with that, in this video, I'm going to talk about the ability for you, based on which category you fall under, the roadmap that can actually help you complete ACCA quicker with more confidence and clarity. If this is the first time you're visiting this channel, then please do click subscribe. And if you find value from this video, then give us a thumbs up. Alright, first, what happens to the person who completes his IPCC and is deciding to continue with CA? So over here, first of all, in this video, I want to assume that you've completed your graduation, because somebody who's just done IPCC gets 5 out of 13 papers exempted in ACCA. But somebody who's also done BCom or has done their graduation, most likely will also get a 6-paper exemption. So yeah, I'm going to talk about those who completed IPCC plus their BCom or their graduation, entitling you to 6 out of 13 exemptions. That's almost half the course. So let's say you're done with IPCC. Number one, you can complete the entirety of the balance ACCA, the 7 papers, in approximately a year and a half, which is perfect for you because along with the articleship, right, you will at some point need to start studying for final CA. So you can study for a year and a half on ACCA and then pick up final CA. So it's quite smooth. You don't have to really change anything except for add effort of studying. Second is, a lot of the curriculum up to IPCC sort of spills over in some of the balance subject of ACCA, and what you study in the subjects of ACCA that you've not studied in IPCC, those will help you in final CA. So in terms of curriculum also, majority of it overlaps between the two courses. So whether you study it for the CA qualification or ACCA, it's going to more or less, at least 80% of the knowledge is going to help you for both the courses. Lastly, articleship of your CA is going to count towards your work experience, or what we call the PER. We made a video on that if you'd like to check it out. But the PER, which is the articleship equivalent almost of ACCA, your articleship is going to be counted towards that. So for you, you get to you'll have to put in a little more effort for sure. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to be almost continuous because you just gave your IPCC and you're going to do ACCA and then you're going to start studying for final CA. So it's a long drawn out road, but by the end of it, you get your ACCA plus CA if you're on track. And I've seen benefits with some candidates who took this proactively because they completed ACCA, started working for final CA, but they did not land up clearing easily. So in the interim, they were at least sure they had some backup, some qualification, which became their primary qualification. And then they either dropped CA because after a few attempts they didn't clear final, or they landed up clearing final, but they didn't have to sort of depend upon it, which causes a lot of people to slow down their career. Also, one more point is that if you've completed IPCC, the 6 papers which you get exemptions for, if you register through partners like us, you get a good chunk, almost 80% of that cost waived off. So the entry of you, let's say you register directly, you have to pay for what we call those 6 exemptions. And the payment is decent enough, hefty enough for people to not take up ACCA. But if you get it waived off, to start the course, you will have almost no problem, which again gives you a lot of benefit. This is for the first category of students. Coming to the second category of students, let's say you decided to drop out of IPCC or you completed it, but you're not going to continue. So how ACCA gives you exemptions for the 5 papers of IPCC is, they check the 5 corresponding papers of your IPCC, which means if subjects like management accounting, financial accounting, tax, audit, if these kind of papers in your CA, you've scored 40 on 100 in any of the attempts in IPCC, you get the corresponding exemptions in ACCA. So out of the 5 exemptions in ACCA, if you scored 40% in all 5, ACCA will get all 5 exempted. 4, 3, 2, 1 accordingly. And that 6th paper which I was telling you about, as long as you've completed your graduation, you get that exempted as well. Sometimes you get overlapping exemptions with, because your graduation gives you the first 3 to 4 papers exempted. So even if you've not scored those marks in IPCC, you still get it exempted. So I don't want to get into the complications of it. We made a detailed video on exemptions for you. But just keep in mind, if you're an IPCC dropout student, you will have to check how many out of those 6 exemptions you're entitled. It could be all, but it could be a little lesser amount. That being said, the other benefits are quite actually the same, right? No, actually only one benefit is the same, which is that you get to use your up to IPCC academic understanding and knowledge in some of the ACCA subjects. So studying ACCA becomes a little easy for you. You don't get waivers as easily if you've not cleared your IPCC, so that's a little bit of an issue. But if anyways dropping IPCC, you might as well invest in some full-time qualification that will get you up and about for your career. Lastly, I'm assuming that in this example, most people will not continue the articleship. So even if you take up ACCA, at some point you'll have to work. So if you're doing it for whatever reason in your articleship, even if you're not pursuing CA, good for you. But if not, pick up ACCA, maybe complete a couple of papers so you get the hang of it, and then start working in an articleship capacity so that you do land up becoming an ACCA member in terms of clearing the papers, having the relevant work experience. So in the market, you have the same value, or at least in most opportunities, you have the same value as that of a CA. So guys, I think this covers the roadmap. If you've left anything, please leave it in the comments.